I'm so excited to tell you about our partner, Isomer Skincare Laboratories. You guys, rooted in science and integrity in the best ingredients and best delivery systems. Unlike any other skincare on the market, for over 30 years, they've been giving you the real science. So this isn't trend. This isn't the hot ingredient of the day on TikTok. This is 30 years of solving your skincare problems. So we're partnering with them today. Happy 20, HAPPY20 gets you 20% off your order. You have free shipping and handling at $100 or more, and they have a solution for every problem. Mature, aging skin, they've got you covered. Sinking, sagging skin, they've got you covered. You can take a really easy test on isomers.ca. And it will recommend exactly what you need for your skincare needs. Or you can go in there and find some of their icons like the Copper P serum. They've got an amazing pure hyaluronic acid, nothing but hyaluronic acid. Their Fast Lift Eye Serum is an industry icon. That's all available at their website. You go to isomers.ca. You use the code HAPPY20. Please use that so they know that we sent you. You get 20% off your order. You'll get free shipping and handling at $100 or more. And if you don't know where to start, take that quiz. It will tell you exactly what to do. Happy 20 at isomers.ca. Hey, I'm so happy you're here.
So happy you're here.
Welcome into the So Happy You're Here podcast. Your buns look great. Your hair looks good.
Oh, man.
Girl, you're crushing summer.
Dazzling personality.
Yes.
So dang funny.
Yes, and we love having you here. Hey, we've got a great episode this week. We have Manuela Marcheggiani.
With a little bit of breaking news.
What do you mean?
So stay tuned.
Oh,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah. She's
Right?
sharing secrets at the end. Manuela Marcheggiani was this incredible, or she's still with us. She's an incredible cosmetic chemist who had the longest running skincare brand at Shop HQ. She's our first and longest supporter of our podcast as well. You've heard us talk about Isomers, the female founder, CEO. She's part of the podcast. She talks about everything, of course, from skincare, but also aging, staying healthy and vibrant as
Just
you get
being
older.
kind of a kick-ass chick.
Yeah, like we hung up the interview with her and I'm like, God, she's a boss. And I know that is overused, but whoever started Boss Babe like 10 years ago, I mean, like you could just frame her picture, isn't she?
Yeah, it really is inspiring too. If you need a little kick in the pants, you're going to get it.
Totally.
Yeah, I was excited to chat with her.
You can see the scientist in her coming out, but also like the good girlfriend.
That's it.
Like nothing rattles her. She's like, these are the facts. Let's go get life done.
Right.
Let's do this. So anyway, I think it's a really fun interview. You're going to learn a lot about skincare, aging. But we wanted to catch up with all of you before we get into the interview.
Yeah.
Did anybody happen to see the Coldplay concert where the CEO, I'm sure you've all seen it, but the CEO of a company.
And by the way, I thought he was an astronomer because I read it wrong and I was like, jazzy. What an industry.
That is jazzy. An astronomer having an affair. He is a CEO. He is big spooning the
HR lady.
The HR lady at a Coldplay concert. Camera comes to them. They duck and hide. They make everything worse. I feel like if they just...
Do you know what this is? What? It's called the Streisand effect.
What is that?
And she brought an issue in her home building to the attention of, like, let's say it was Malibu or wherever she was living. Mm-hmm. And it made a huge splash in terms of press.
Yeah.
And it was something that if she had just shut the heck up, no one would have known about. So same things with these people. When you hit the deck and start spazzing out,
when he's like
and flailing,
grown ass man literally hit the deck and she hit her face. You gave it away. You gave it away. The jig is up. I can't. It is so cringy. It is so painful to watch. Of course, thoughts and prayers go out to their children and their spouses. But guess what, spouses? I think you lucked out. You're going to come out on the better side because these two are morons.
No.
But here's the problem. Have you ever had a dream where you dream that your spouse has cheated on you or done you wrong and you wake up from the dream and you're mad at your spouse?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
Like you're actually mad in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
So this episode at the Coldplay concert happens.
Oh no, and John has to pay for it?
And I see it and I'm like, well, that's it. Dirty, rotten scoundrel. Like, can you believe this shit, these men? Ah! I'm so...
He's trapped in a car with you, by the way.
Whoa. I'm your husband. I haven't done anything wrong. Like, man, they're all the same. Am I right? Like, take their HR ladies to a Coldplay concert, my ass. I knew it was wrong, but I was so mad at my husband that this had happened.
You and all y'all.
I'm like, you and all your guy friends. He's like, I don't know him. I don't know anything about him.
I'm not even
like, you're all the same.
I'm not an astrophysicist.
He's like, Erin, we're celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary in Colorado right now.
Could we ever table this conversation?
Can we put a pin on it? A pin in it? I'm like, fine, but you're going to pay the price. I don't know what happened. Those same feelings, if you've ever had when you wake up from a bad dream and you're like, you cheated on me last night in my dream. Same thing. I saw it and I was like, damn it. Our 20th anniversary has been ruined.
You, Chris Martin, Gwyneth, all y'all.
I'm like, what? Now you're making out with Apple? Darn it.
What's next?
It was really unhinged and really uncalled for on my part, but it happened.
But let's talk about 20 years. Is that the only time that John has been witness to a semi-freak out?
That poor man. We made it 20 years though, guys.
Looks like we made it.
So anyway, I'm like, Becky, don't worry. John survived the weekend. We had a great, quick weekend away in Colorado. Just the two of us to celebrate 20 years, which is insane. I can't believe how fast it went. And I'm like, Becky, she was like, what'd you do this weekend? I'm like, I celebrated my 20th wedding anniversary. And you replied,
I'm doing 30. So we've told you this before, that we are 10 years apart in everything. Kids' ages, weddings, all of these
first
things.
menstrual cycle.
Yes, right. So coming up is our, tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Phil, I am so sorry. I can never remember my anniversary.
When this airs, it will have been yesterday.
Yes.
So that's right. We're recording this a day and a half early. So tomorrow, yesterday was 30
years.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you going to celebrate? Yelling at him about the Coldplay concert?
Honestly, we talked about it. It's so funny because we are so chill about everything. So we talk about it yesterday. What are we going to do? No time to plan anything. So we're just going to go to dinner and, I think that's it. And we did the ring, earlier in this year.
30 years. Like, what's the advice you have for people hitting that? Because those are beating the odds numbers. Those are beating the odds numbers.
No, I would say it has to be somebody who is, I used to say when we dated, he bugs me the least of anyone I had dated.
So romantic.
Isn't that really romantic?
Yes.
He is my best friend. So I love hanging out. She's going to lose it on me.
I'm already irritated at John because a random man hugged his HR lady.
I'm not the HR lady. Don't take it out of me.
Okay, he's your best friend.
I love spending time with him. And I think it does over the long haul. It's not about the big romantic gestures. It's about the day-to-day for us.
Yes.
And I do think too, I've always said this. I want to sit across from somebody who's at their 50th anniversary and they're like, well, remember in the 75 to 77 years and just be honest, for anybody that's been in a long-term relationship, they are not all 30 years amazing and glamorous and shining bright stars, right?
I would even go to say there's more tough years than good years. And I don't mean tough like you hate each other.
No.
But you're trying to build a life together. Yes. You're trying to buy your first grown-up car together. You're trying to raise children together and you still feel like a child, So it's even beyond whether or not you like each other.
Did I tell you what, when I was in high school, a guy came in and spoke and he said, you need to be able to clean up their puke.
Oh God, I can't do that.
No, that's what he said. He was like, you're going to have more days like that. This person's going to have the flu. Yeah. I know there are hottie toddies right now, but
good news, I'm married to a really type A guy. He always makes it to the toilet before he has to.
Well, he can't even go to the bathroom here. I think we all know that.
We don't share toilets. Ew. I love what you said. I think when I look at 20 years and, fingers crossed, especially for John's safety, that we make it to 30 years together. I think we will. But I look back and I'm like, oh, it's who you can get through the hard times with.
That's exactly right.
It's who
shoulder to shoulder.
100. It's where you get even better during the hard times.
Yeah.
I think is where we actually thrive.
Yep.
Also, I don't know about you, but like in the Bravo universe, we always say, except for Joyce and her husband and Lisa Vanderpump, but in the Bravo universe, if any of those housewives did a vow renewal, it meant
imminent.
It meant they're getting separated.
Although Denise. Did you see this? Denise Richards?
Yeah, they're getting separated.
Yes.
Yeah. Did they do a vow renewal? They weren't married long enough to renew.
No, but they doth protested quite a bit.
Well, that's what I was going to say is I was worried because I wanted to make an Instagram post about 20 years. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But I always feel like if doth protest too much.
Oh,
if
you don't want to put it on blast.
If you're saying too much about how perfect your relationship is, I always feel like that's like the warning signal of like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm just superstitious this way.
I know what you mean.
100% sure a lot of people put their perfect relationships out there and they are in absolute bliss.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm like, do I do this? Am I jinxing myself by celebrating our 20-year? And then I was like, no, you can celebrate your freaking 20-year. I thought by celebrating my 20th anniversary, I would jinx us, but I don't think I jinxed us.
I don't think so. It's a big flipping deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah, it's exciting. And you know what's so great too is it's like, I used to say this about the babies. Every stage was better than the next. Like, oh, I love them when they're 6 months. And then I loved them when they were 1. It is kind of true of marriage too, that it's not going to be the big showy, like, you know, oh, now we're walking. Now we're eating solids.
Right.
Because we're going the other way. I'm sure we're going to be eating baby food on the back
under
end.
her mush.
But it does get better. It gets deeper. It gets more fulfilling. It gets more honest.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's good stuff.
When you say gets more honest too. So there was a time where when I was younger, I was so afraid to be the couple who sat in silence. I'm like, their love is gone. Their romance is gone. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine being with my husband and sitting in silence. And now on the flip side of it, 20 years in, I'm like, I think one of the best things we can do sometimes is sit in silence together and we are not anxious about what comes next.
Nope.
We're both totally confident that we're like, we had a long day and I'm happy you're next to me.
Yes.
But we don't need to shoot the shit for 20 minutes.
And sometimes I don't have one more word left.
Especially
you know, like
after hanging out with me. I'm sorry.
We've said all the words. I don't know what to say.
We've told every secret.
Except for there's one.
What?
What do you want for dinner? Every flipping day.
No, I set that right away in the get-go. I set that straight. I was like, listen, I don't cook well. Neither do you. We're going to figure this one out together as well.
Yeah.
So we both sort of just look at each other and I'm like, I saw a piece of meat in the fridge. Do you know how to grill that? And if so, I will boil noodles.
Fair.
And
there's a nice division of labor there.
Now, do you, and we're going to get into our episode with Manuela. Do you have do you remember like who said I love you first? Who made the first move first?
Oh,
and is that,
man, that's a really tough one. I think I might have been the pursuer.
What?
I might have.
Is that the first and only time you pursued a man? I don't feel like you pursued a lot.
Do you know the one time I asked a boy to go to a concert with me, he stood me up when I was 16 years old. And then I thought I would never do it again.
I cursed the day he was born.
No, he's a demon.
Me?
He's straight from hell.
Did you go to the concert alone?
My mom. I was crying.
Oh, honey, what concert was it?
I think it was Alexander O'Neill, which is like anybody that was around here at least, it was like, it's baby making music. Oh. It was
and you were with your mom?
Jams.
Like, let's get it on.
It was very sexy, very romantic.
And you were 16 years old.
Red eyes. I'd been crying. And she's like, that's it. We're going.
Do you think in hindsight that mother was just like, no, you're not going to a sex concert with you're 16? Do you really think it was his fault? Do you think the mom found out and was like, what kind of hussy?
Who is this?
Invites
my little Catholic school.
My Catholic school boy to a sex concert. You might want to revisit that. That might not
Maybe
be on him.
Maybe I have to look at that through a new lens.
It might not be the demon because as the mother of a teenage boy, if William got invited to a sex concert right now, I'm pretty sure I'd step in between.
If I started singing, if anyone heard Alexander O'Neill right now.
Can you sing any of the songs?
I'm going to play it for you is what I'm going to do.
Okay, so while you're thinking that, another thing just came to my head. Do you think now, since that was a traumatic moment for you, that boy stood you up for a sex concert is why you go to every single concert in Minneapolis without fail?
Do you feel like I'm trying to make up
and you go with your husband, Phil? Do you think deep down inside, your inner subconscious, your inner teenager is just peacocking around?
Show him.
Those concerts in Minneapolis.
My mom doesn't even have to bring me.
No, you don't even have to go with your mom.
Drive myself.
You had a hot dude with you. You had a hot dude who put a ring on it. Do you think you're subconsciously trying to run into that guy who stood you up and be like, look at what you could have missed out on?
That's what's happening. Yeah.
I'm standing in the front row.
Yeah.
I'm everybody's favorite but the security. And guess where I was last night? Another concert. And guess where I'm going next Saturday? Another concert. Name the concert. I'll be there.
It'll never end.
Never. Mr. Worldwide, in. Bone Thugs and Harmony, never missed it. The Philharmonic Orchestra, there.
Did it yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
She's never missed one. Now we really learn more about you in this, Bex.
I'll tell you something right now.
If you can't find the music, we could play it later.
No, this is so good.
Oh, yeah.
Who remembers?
Dude, good thing he didn't show up. You could be a grandma by now. Hell,
Honestly.
you could have a 35-year-old. I really need you to rethink that. First of all, ladies, just thinking about Becky and her mom alone at that concert is outstanding.
And of course, I ran into like the older, the seniors that were like the most popular, like the BMOCs. Oh. They were all together.
With boys?
And I was with my mom. I was with my mom.
And you were crying.
Crying.
But you know what? I really think it set you up for great success in concerts moving forward with your husband.
That's exactly right.
See?
Foundational.
We got to make lemonade out of that lemon.
I think that's so good.
Yeah. Well, listen, we've got a great episode.
Stay tuned.
Yes, coming up right now. So Manuela Marcheggiani, please make sure you're following and subscribing to us. So we're putting out a big request for subscribers.
Yeah.
Our listener numbers, outstanding. Thank you so much. It's all on you guys. We are so thankful, so thankful, so thankful. If you could subscribe as well and then tell your neighbors and your mom. You don't even have to listen after you subscribe.
Just go pick up other people's phones and just say follow, subscribe, like.
It's free. Nothing happens to their phone. Right. You don't have to worry about it being too sexy.
I won't spam you.
Nothing. Like literally nothing happens. Yeah. It's just better for us.
Yes.
And here we are looking out for our numbers. We're so happy you're here. Thank you so much. Enjoy this interview with Manuela Marcheggiani, and we will visit next week. So happy you're here. Well, girls, it is finally time. Put your hands together. She's here. You've asked for her, the longest running guest at Shop HQ. Don't take offense to it, honey. Don't take offense to it. Your beauty guru, Manuela Marcheggiani. Welcome to So Happy You're Here.
Thank you for having me. It's really great to be here.
You look
Wonderful
fantastic as usual.
Thank you.
You look incredible. So friends, if you haven't met Manuela yet, she is the co-founder, co-CEO, cosmetic chemist behind Isomers, who has been our #1 sponsor and supporter of our podcast since inception in November. So first and foremost, we owe you.
We're not worthy.
A big, big thank you. Thank you for believing in these two ladies who talk too much right out of the gates.
I think that it's really important to build things. I think it's important to be creative and to move forward. And I applaud you both for what you're doing.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for being an inspiration to us.
Absolutely.
Because we've been following you around for over a decade and we've got a lot to talk about. So where we agreed we need to kick off things is the Shop HQ of it all.
What in the Shop HQ?
Yeah, what in the Shop HQ is going on? So Manuela, you were there for how many years?
27 years.
Is that all? 27 years. So you had babies there. Yeah. You were flying back and forth there. So tell us about your time at Shop HQ.
Shop HQ was really great. Shop HQ was, at the time when we launched on Shop HQ, was really wonderful because we were able to be a brand new business, in a sense of a brand new non-marketing, like actual founders and scientists with our own product. And I was able to have a platform where I was able to talk freely about one product at a time. And the product that I launched was this one right here, the Fast Lift Eye Serum.
Girl, I used that this morning, prepping. I'm still using it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Fast Lift Eye Serum. And then we had a body cream and a bust cream. But what we were able to do is we were able to talk about the science and the ingredients. And this is before anybody else was doing it. And I loved it because it gave me an opportunity to kind of help others the way I wish I would have been helped. Because I struggled with first of all, I wasn't really a business person. I was just an inventor. So I tried to fix a problem. But second of all, I had frustrations in the marketplace, right? I had frustrations with beauty product. I found that I was being misled. And so I wanted to go on air and talk about the science and really give people a behind the scenes look where I wasn't allowed to be, to give them information so they could help themselves. So I wanted to really fight for truth and fight for transparency and education. And that's really always been my motivation behind Isomers. And Shop HQ allowed us to do that. Shop HQ allowed me to talk science. It allowed me to show really creepy before and afters where they weren't so beautiful. They were basically, looking at it more from a scientific point of view, and allowed me to go into a world that women really hadn't seen before, talking about like matrixyl or collagen peptides, or giving these stories, and allowed me to share that information. So it was really great. So we grew a lot through Shop HQ, and we were able to really break a lot of boundaries. And I found that we became I noticed on other networks, the big networks, if you will, the H's and the Q's and all those networks out there, their guests or their experts were literally duplicating what I was doing. And people would tell me, they would say, we watch you. We look at how you approach the science. We looked at how you started making claims. We looked at the fact that you weren't talking about, just these kind of cute little stories. You actually went into the juicier part of the industry. And so we took cues from you.
And it clearly paid off.
Well, because you're more of an educator than a marketer.
Well, yeah.
And that's what people want, is the real meat.
And what we've talked a lot about on this podcast, Manuela, is women like you who have been doing this for 27 years. You're the original influencer.
Yes.
You're the original video sales. And I think one thing holds true from the 27 years that you just touched on is the ones who are the most successful are the most authentic and the ones who tell the truth.
Yes.
And even though your products, have changed over the years, there's some like Fast Lift Eye Serum that have stayed, forever and ever, and they'll always be there. I still use it every day. The way that you presented never changed. The way that you presented was always the facts and the education that Becky mentioned.
Yeah. And it was always the facts and the education. And it was always about being very, very truthful in the science part of it. But I found that even when I started hiring girls or young people into Isomers post-COVID, they were looking at old clips, because now, when people in their 20s, they're much smarter than us in our 60s, and what do we know, kind of that whole idea. And when they're looking at old tapes or old segments, they're like, you've been saying the same thing for 30 years.
Yeah.
You've been saying they're doing that. And I'm like, well, yeah. And most recently, right now, today, because we grew up on TV shopping in a sense, I was there for 27 years, over 30 years in life. So I started in my mid 30s. I'm in my, early 60s. My body, I had babies. I've gone through menopause, all this change. When I first had Keon, I launched R Pure.
Yes.
Right. R Pure, at the time when I launched it because I had a baby and my hormones were changing, and I was thinking about, oh my goodness, I'm now going to go into a different part of my world, my life, my stage of life. And I'm going to need, you have your skin is in a zone, you have something that's very perfect.
Yes.
And then as you get older or you move away from that perfection, things kind of fall apart. It's like a puzzle, and all of a sudden you're missing pieces of the puzzle, or you have a deck of cards and all of a sudden you're missing certain cards and certain suits. You can't really play the game anymore because things go missing.
Yes, you're telling me.
We created R Pure to give you back the estrogen or give you back those fats in your skin. When I launched it and I talked about it on the network, I was told, you can't do that. It's a drug. You can't cure disease. And it was like taboo, taboo, taboo. You can't say menopause. You can't say estrogen. And I'm like, wait a minute. It is a natural progression. This is not a disease. It's just a different stage of our life.
That's right.
And today, now in 2025, where 6,000 women a day go into menopause, 2 million a year just in the US every year go into menopause or into that stage, now they're realizing it's just a stage of life.
That's right.
It is not a disease. And so we were literally 27 years ahead of our time.
Yeah.
But I had to fight through all that stigma. I got all of those reprimands on air. But today, that was the truth. And now the truth is coming to be normalized.
You've been ahead of the curve for quite some time. I mean, you were ahead of the curve on matrixyl. You were currently introducing spicules for the very first time. I mean, you've been ahead of the curve basically your entire career, which is exciting, but I also bet very hard for you.
Yes, we've been ahead of the curve. It's because we do innovate, but we stick to the same kind of innovation in the sense that we look for the nature part of it or the actual science part of it. So it's not just to be ahead of a curve with a lot of trends, because you'll see a lot of other brands come and go.
Yeah.
So they could be doing stuff that has actually no integrity 10, 20 years later. They don't exist anymore because there was no science behind it. It was marketing. And it's hard when you're ahead of the curve, or we're talking about menopause, or we're talking about collagen peptides, and then somebody new comes along and they say, the earth is not flat, it's round. It's like, when did you realize that? It's been like that for a long time. So sometimes being too early is problematic.
Well, you have to stand your ground and really be, confident in the truth and the facts that you're presenting. But I think that was one of the secrets to your success. And Becky can attest to this. Your 10 years there, my 12 years there. You see even great brands come and go within like a month.
Oh,
because
the viewer is so savvy. That's why I think they see through it.
And you have to be good in this industry. You have to be a good storyteller. You have to stand behind. And you've seen how many brands come and go.
Oh,
how difficult to be 27 years straight through.
And I don't want to jump ahead, but your TikTok following, I was thinking about this the other day. You've got everybody and their sister is now an influencer, right? Just because she's got a bathroom and a ring light. How do you separate yourself? Your TikTok following is so incredible. Everyone follow Manuela.
You're viral, girl.
You're super viral. But once again, cutting through the clutter, cutting through, everybody with their opinion with real facts. I mean, I think that's why you're seeing that success in that new, sort of realm.
Yeah, with TikTok, what we decided to do was to do certain things was educate and answer questions. So when people say I'm going through menopause or I have melasma, what do I use, right? And so I basically say, okay, so Becky, for melasma, this is what I would recommend. The azelaic, and then I would say use this sunscreen or do this routine. Think about your daytime, think about your nighttime routine, and that's pretty much it. So we're here as a service. We're answering your questions. We're trying to clear the clutter, and I'm not really trying to sell anything but empowering you with the education. Okay. If you happen to like the education, and we do happen to make a few of the products, then by all means, get the product. But it's more about empowering people and making them healthier. So that's our angle with our TikTok.
So good.
Just between us girls, does it ever drive you a little bit nuts that you have people on TikTok
with no credibility?
Exactly. No background. I mean, it drives me nuts, and I am not a skincare founder. Does it drive you just between us girls? Does it make you a little crazy
it really
sometimes?
Drives me crazy. So I look at a lot of I have a certain. Okay, this is what we shouldn't talk about. I'm not going to mention names, but there are a few people out there that have huge platform.
Yep.
They either married into the platform, by the families that they're married into, or they have access because they're celebrity or whatever. And then they have a lot of opinions, and they promote products or brands, or they talk about things that they know absolutely nothing about.
Yeah.
And people believe them 10 times over a scientist or a formulator. It's almost like I have to prove my credentials. I have to establish proof, where this person who absolutely no background is able to be believed. So yes, that bothers me because I think that a lot of times people are getting really bad advice and they actually end up hurting themselves, or they feel poorly about themselves. Like, one thing is maybe you get ripped off of money, which, okay, maybe you rebuild that, and maybe we learn from that lesson. But for me, it's more about the health parts of it, where they could be at risk with the bad information.
Yeah.
And so when they believe them, it really bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally.
It's a trust thing.
Well, I'd like to see where some of those people are when they hit 62, because I'm here to tell you, girls, Manuela is a no makeup, no filter 62-year-old.
I have no makeup on.
It's insane.
Look at how incredible.
That's what I would say to everybody. You go ahead and you look at the 60-year-olds, you see what their skin looks like without a filter and without makeup on, and then decide who you want to trust.
Just go head to head.
Yeah, totally. Because your skin has gotten better since I met you around when you were about 50. And your skin is better now than it was at 50.
Yeah, well,
is that okay to say that?
You're going to talk about that. That's me at 40 over there. That's over, 22 years ago. But this is me at 62, and I do use I use the glutathione. We're known for certain proprietary things like the glutathione, which now in 2025 there's a brand that now is marrying glutathione with vitamin C, and it's like all the rage. It's like, I've been talking to you guys about glutathione for over 17 years, and like my desert island pick.
Yes.
The phytoestrogen, the R Pure, since Keon was born, we've been talking about that. So these are things that I do, and it really helps keep my skin younger, healthier, thicker. I'm not on HRTs, which are very important people who can qualify to do that, that's great, because you're going to have a little bit more like meat in your skin. You're going to have a little bit more elasticity. So you have a bit of an advantage, but but I'm actually the living proof that if you can't, you can still maintain your body and your skin just by following certain things. And there are certain things that I do that I've learned more and more, like the diet, of course, is very important. Like a healthy diet. I don't say follow just a strict diet, but I'm a big believer in Mediterranean diet, eating fresh, eating simple, non-processed. I'm a big believer in this, which is...
what is that?
Is that your Whoop? Yeah.
This is my Whoop.
Oh my gosh, my husband's like addicted to his Whoop.
Too. Yeah.
Do we need to be getting one, us gals?
Oh my God. This is what you have to do. Like, This has been like, okay, it's unscripted, but
let's go, gun show.
If you're not on YouTube right now, you best subscribe because we are.
So
come on now, Manuela. Look at even the décolleté on you.
Yeah. There's
not a crepe in sight, babe.
No, nothing. This
phenomenal.
Is
Becky also wants to flex for you. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
The reason why I'm showing that is I don't feel like puffy or inflamed or, like a lot of things that happen to us as women as we're older and we go through hormonal changes. So what I do with my Whoop, and I used to work out a lot when I was younger, and I was very fortunate in the sense that I've always had a good kind of healthier workout routine. I was doing a sport when I was in high school. I was like on volleyball team and that was, and swimming. And then as I got older, I tried to do a couple of things here and there just to keep myself very active. Right. But around COVID, kind of things fell off the rail and I got a little sloppy. I still walked my dog, which I think is important. But what the Whoop brought me back to was that you can go on the Whoop and it says you can start an activity, right?
Yes. And
when you start an activity, which what I do is I cycle. So I have a bike at home. I just bought one and I bought the cheapest one. Okay. I didn't buy one with those programs. I bought the cheapest bike, but I make myself do a zone 2 workout.
Oh.
Zone 2, anybody can do. Zone 2 is basically where you can talk and still work out. It's about 60% of your maximum.
Okay.
But studies show that if you can do, like zone 2 3 times a week for about 30, 40 minutes. Yeah. So you're 4, 8, 12, you do about 120 minutes a week of zone 2 exercise. Your mitochondria goes up, your energy goes up. It's completely fat burning. It boosts your metabolism. It is huge.
Throughout the day too.
It is the best thing. Like I do this now. I started June 1st, 30 minutes, 3-4 times a week. Now July, I've moved myself up to 40 minutes. So my goal is August, I'm going to do 50 minutes and then September 60 minutes. So my goal is to do 60 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week of zone 2, because I have seen the burning of the fat, the increase of the metabolism. I sleep better. I feel better. I have less inflammation. I think that my skin is even better.
Yeah.
And so are you weightlifting as well, Manuela? Or are you getting that definition from, wow.
Becky and I are going to invest in 2 bikes that we ride during this podcast moving forward.
And Whoop straps.
Yes. I got to get a Whoop.
What I did is the bike I got is I bought a Bowflex. A Bowflex, I think it's called the C6. That was the one I bought because it did not come with, when it comes with like the classes.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I bought that one because it did not come with it. It was also on sale.
Yes.
Because I wanted to be able to ride it independently. I find that those classes, it doesn't follow your heart rate. Like with your Whoop, it follows your heart rate. It follows you exactly zoned to you and your body. So to keep yourself into a healthy zone 2, the fitter I get, the more I'm going to have to exert myself. So I will always stay healthy within my age and zone. And I don't think enough of us understand how to stay in that right zone to stay healthy, and to really work with our heart and our body and our metabolism and burn that fat. Because as you get older too, you can't burn a lot of the fat. Like I find now, I I just feel it's changed everything, even the mood.
Really?
You know?
This is such a good recommendation.
Now, here's the only problem is my husband's been telling me to get on the Whoop for about a year.
Yeah.
And I've just said no. I haven't listened to him. So now one conversation with Manuela, I'm going to buy the Whoop.
John's been trying for years.
And if you've ever seen the Modern Family episode of Skip Woosman in the salad, you'll know where I'm going with this, where he recommends something to me. I say no, but then a dear girlfriend recommends and I say, I'm on board. I'm on board.
Well, and it tells you when to sleep and what days you can exert more. I mean, it does so much more.
It does do that. It does. It's really funny because it does tell me, because I'm an early riser and an early go to bedder, right? I am 9:15. I've always been that. I'm done, right? And I like waking up early. But what I love about it is that it monitors my steps much more accurately than when I didn't have, like, even the Apple Watch. I can't wear one of those because I keep breaking them, right? So I find the Whoop is great because it's indestructible.
Right.
But I found that it's much more accurate. So where I thought I was doing 10,000 or 8,000 steps a day, I was actually doing 15 and 16,000, right? Because it's counting all your little things. Like it's counting everything,
Good.
right? Much more accurately. But what I love about it is if you look on the select activity, your activity could be badminton. It could be racquetball. It could be, pickleball that people are doing now. It could be dog walking. It could be fishing. So it could be bar. It could be, so what is great about it is I'm a big believer. You can have a personal trainer and all that, but nothing trains you better than your own vital signs. So when your heart and your blood pressure are telling you certain things and you're working within that range and you can monitor it, you're at your optimum. Mm-hmm. You're saving time, money, and you're saving your health. And I'm not being sponsored by.
No, I was just thinking in my head, I'm gonna tag Whoop.
Yes.
And stationary bicycles from the 80s and see if either one of them wants to get in on this podcast. I'm going to tag them all.
Yeah, because I find that this is when I was a young girl, when I was in my early or mid 30s, I used to have a treadmill that I would put that strap on, right? On the, and the heart rate monitor on. And I would say I was 125 pounds and I would work to that fitness zone. I was like, my God. And so now I kind of am able to relive that because I have something that aligns with my beliefs. Like I believe in the science. I believe in the science of my skincare, but I also believe in the science of nutrition. I believe in the science of working out. And so the science to me tells me your heart tells you how your resting heart rate, your exertion tells you so much about yourself. So if you follow that, you should be in a zone of building. And I do believe we are, after menopause, after our childbearing years, we live for about another 30 years, right?
Yep.
We're the only ones outside of whales that do that actually as a species live beyond our reproductive years. So I believe that God has done that for a reason. We have a purpose. It's a chapter where we have to be struck. 30 years, that's a long time, from 60 to 90, let's just say that's an average for people. So now you have all the years to be a mentor, to be a guide, to impart wisdom and strength. You want to be at a peak. You don't want to be falling apart.
Yeah.
This is why I think a lot of women think that after their kids, they're like, I'm kind of done. I'm falling apart. This hurts, that hurts. I think it's because we're not looking at it as, wait a minute, we have actually another job to do. And it's a very important job that we're the only species that really does this job. Mm-hmm. And we should be showing up.
Let's
prettier,
go.
Stronger, healthier,
more competent.
And that's why more confident, right? Because we lived through it.
Yes.
We can, the stuff we have in here and in here, only we can give to the next generation.
That's right, girl.
That's really true.
That's right. You guys, don't forget, Isomers is now partnering with So Happy You're Here podcast to give you an exclusive 20% off your order. You go to isomers.ca. You'll get 20% off your order. If you're at $100 or more, they'll ship it to you for free directly to your house. It's an exclusive savings just for all of you listening. If you haven't been introduced to Isomers before, they are the best cosmetic chemists in the world. Scientifically proven results for over 30 years. If you don't know where to start, there's an easy quiz to take at isomers.ca. Or if you just want to go for their icons, their hyaluronic acid, their fast lift eye serum, their copper P, it's all available and it's exclusively for you with Happy20 to get that 20% off your order. But you know what? As you were talking, and by the way, I'm so good.
So encouraged.
And all of us girls got to get on board with that. But as you're talking about your fitness goals and as it ties back to isomers and your skincare, I think one of the keys to your success is that you've never fallen for the trends or what somebody else says you should be doing. You've always listened to your intuition and the science. And I think it's landed you in a really good space.
Yeah. I've always, I think too, is because I grew up very poor. Like we grew up in like my parents were immigrants. They had, minimum wage jobs. Yep. We really believed in education, but we really didn't have a lot of means, right? So everything we had to do or anything I had to buy was always deliberate. We always believed, we were too poor to buy cheap. So yes. We educated ourselves well. We invested in good education. We invested in really nice pieces of clothing, things that take you further. And so I believe that the science and the nutrition is part of that. So we didn't have the luxury of being able to buy junk just for the heck of it. Yeah. So we always had to buy substance. And that kind of has guided me all along.
Yeah. That's a really good way to look at things.
And then do you impart that into Keon as well, your baby boy that everyone is so in love with, by the way? You've got to be so proud.
I do. I am. I'm very proud. I do. I have two boys. And so Keon is my oldest. And now Keon's on Shop LC. He launched Cold, which he does. Now he's taken it and a little bit, he's taken the science a little bit further in the sense that he's gone to cold press and cold, not only cold extraction, but cold manufacturing. So in the sense that we're not using heat. So he's taken that part. He's huge on the nutrition part. He's also a boxer, very, very healthy. And then I have another son who's just graduated as a lawyer, who also he does bodybuilding or training.
Yes.
And so they're very, very healthy. They worry a lot about their protein intake, the quality of their protein, their water. I mean, my children never drank juice. They only drank water or milk. Those were just things that we built on from the beginning, and they still follow through with that today. And even with, even just a few pieces, like things that when they graduated, I got them like really a nice watch each, like not a lot of things, but really good things.
Yeah.
We need it. Quality over quantity. That's how I feel about friendships. That's how I feel about the people you surround yourself with. And it should be always quality over quantity, for sure.
Always.
So Manuela, so many people have been, looking to you for advice for so many years. And now you're 62 and I feel like you're living your best life. Like, what would you say to somebody at home saying, you know what, I feel kind of stuck right now. Yeah. I'm late 50s, mid 60s, even getting my early 70s. And I'm like, well, what is that purpose I'm talking about? Like, what would you say to a woman your age who still wants to live life to the fullest?
Well, I think that you have to start taking, I've been there. There's been times where I've been on my sofa for months and months and can't get up, and you feel stuck or you feel unappreciated or you feel invisible. Mm-hmm. But I think those are the times where you have to, well, what I did is I got a dog.
Dogs do solve a lot.
I got a puppy, and that puppy made me get off my ass, right? I had to go walk him. And then I decided I walked him in the morning, I walked him in the afternoon, and then I started taking care of that. And then I just started to get myself going and started working on different projects, because there are shifts, because you do think, well, the kids have grown, now what? Or this has happened, now what? Or you just start literally cleaning out your closet and starting to see what you like versus what you don't like. What are you stuck with? I also believe that we hold on to a lot of things, and I'm a big believer in energy. And I think that when you hold on to a lot of things that don't serve you, they clog up your space and then you're stuck.
She's talking directly to me.
Manuela, do you know that we have a little bit of a hoarder on our hands
just
here?
When it comes to apparel, just when it comes to clothes, they all have their own personalities, their names.
I heard this the other day. Do you girls love this? That you look at your closet and you create a character, even if you don't really believe it yet.
Okay.
But you look at the clothes and you say, does that look like something she would wear? Like, even if you can't separate yourself out anymore, some of that old stuff you would look and go, that's not what she would wear.
Okay. I would be like, maybe she'd put it on and style it in a different way.
Shoot. We're never going to get her to get rid of this stuff, Manuela.
No, but no, you're not. But what I love that you said, Manuela, is just getting started in little bits and pieces. We've talked about this a lot. Becky and I really grieved the loss of our jobs at Shop HQ because not that it was our identity by any means, but even to your point, it's what got us out the door every day. Yeah. It's what had us interacting with people every day. And all of a sudden you're home and you're thinking, wait, that was part of my family. And I loved, Manuel, I got to see you every week. I got to see Becky 7 days a week, you know, and you feel like, what am I going to do now? Yeah. And we both agreed too. And to what your point was, little steps of little things. Like it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be perfectly planned out. But, you know,
keep moving.
We took a big step and dove into a podcast together.
Which is perfect because now you're looking at that next generation. It's almost like when you go past your, going into menopause. It's not like, okay, you're going to grieve your 20s and 30s and 40s, whatever. But now you should be celebrating this next step.
Yes.
Because now you come with so much more experience and you have much larger reach potentially, and you have a reach on your terms.
Yeah.
And so now you can talk to people the way you really, truly want to.
So
those
true.
are all things that you really couldn't do before because you had to be within a framework. You had to be within this fashion and this brand and its story and your time slot. Now you actually have your time slot and your brands and your perception. So now you're able to bring in much more of your own experiences and knowledge to,
and we can swear.
That.
Yeah, and Becky can finally swear. She has been waiting to swear. She can. That's so true, though. You get to do it on your own terms. But, we're of a generation. I'm at the end. What generation? We're a part of the same generation. I'm the end of it. We're X. Yeah. We're Gen Xers. And so I think we're at a generation where we grew up prepared for and ready always for the boss to be accepted into a career.
Oh, always trying to please others.
Now with social media, with TikTok, with podcasts, it's like everybody can be their own boss. And I think especially women from my age on up, we have to remember that, like to what you just said, we can actually call our own shots now. We have everything available to us to call our own shots.
Yeah. And I think why a lot of people are afraid of that is because when you do call your own shots, and this is being as a founder, as an entrepreneur, when you do call your own shots, people like, oh my God, you're the boss, or, you have your own business. Yes, but that also means that I own all the mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I own all the bad calls, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have no one to blame. So it's so easy when you have a boss and you're just say, well, I'm just following orders and I'm just working within that. So you're always protected by their stupidity or their intelligence.
Or if you get caught on the Jumbotron at the Coldplay concert, you just have to quit.
Or I get a partner and I blame everything on Becky still.
No, but that's why a lot of times when people are like, why are you with that person or why are you keeping that? It's because then you have a built-in excuse for not actually holding the responsibility. So you can blame other people for holding yourself back because you can say, well, look at what they did. I don't have, I guess it's a little bit of a victim. I'm not a big believer in the victim mentality, but I think that this allows us right now, what's happened. Like, I think maybe the network had to fold to kick us all in the butts to actually get on and doing our own thing and
this
to shake
is
it off.
great.
We've talked about this.
That is a good word.
We really, when we started the podcast in November, we really thought it would just be a fun, extra conversation for Wake Up in Style. But we never would have gone as hard as we have now had the network not folded. And opportunities for you and for the future of Isomers might have never opened up had Shop HQ not gone under. So we have to look at it as a positive. But I got to ask you this though too, because as we're talking, I forget, we spent so many years together and I miss you. I wish you would fly to Minnesota more. Too. We need to come up to Toronto. Could we do?
Come to Toronto.
We could do a live podcast in Toronto. We should do a live podcast and a tour of the plant.
Would love it. Would love
tour
that.
Tour the plant. You can tour my closet because I have a good closet that I've
there's one
over
piece.
the years.
I'm going to start working. Start doing my Zone 2 workouts right now.
Yeah, my Zone 2, but I also, my whole fashion, because you do talk about fashion, but my whole fashion journey also was attributed to the network. Yeah. So when I started, I used to show up in suits, two-piece suits, whatever. I tried to look professional. I looked more like, just a typical, the jacket and the pants kind of thing. And I remember Charla one day saying to me, you have a, I'm quoting her words, not mine. You have a face of an angel and the mind of a genius, and yet you're dressed Pollyanna. Do yourself a favor, go to Toronto, go to one of those fancy stores, get yourself a personal shopper, and do European chic. Match your brain and your fashion together. Like, have it represent who you are.
Charla.
Fantastic.
And I went and I did it. I was like, okay. And so a family friend of my husband, she was working at this store called Holt Renfrew. And Holt Renfrew is like the iconic store in Canada. You know, it's so they have all the brands or whatever. So I said, I'm told I'm supposed to dress European chic. I don't even know what it means, right? And so she's like, I got you, right? And so she started putting one or two pieces. So 2 or 3 times a year, she would literally have a rack of things and I would just buy them like blindly. Wow. And that was great because it allowed me, all of a sudden, I was known to have really nice clothes on TV.
Yes.
But then I noticed a lot of my pieces were kind of loud or very, very particular. So you knew what they were. So that meant that every time I wore them, people remembered that I wore them.
Yes.
Oh. Then I started to learn, oh my gosh, now my closet is not that diverse because people can earmark that.
Sure.
So I learned from that, then you pick things that are more neutral. So you have more wears.
Sure. Yes. More ways to style them. Yes.
More ways to style it. Not so obvious that you wore it before. Then you have more flexibility. So I learned a lot as my career changed and as my confidence grew. I relied more on good cut, good color, as opposed to this designer, that price point, right? I always believed, again, in having really good quality because I always wanted the things to last.
Yes.
Because again, growing up humbly, but that was also important for me. And so now I'm like, this color is very fashionable, but this thing is about 22 years old.
Is it really?
Gosh,
yeah.
It looks great.
Stunning.
So wait, what are you loving right now? How has your fashion style changed?
My fashion style now is I'm more into neutrals, but I think it's always been, it's still all about the body. I really like the fashion style that highlights my body. It feels nice on my body, that it highlights the fact that I have bigger shoulders and small waist and the hips. So I like more of the feminine. I've always gone for that. So I really don't like when they're all very big and a lot of slouchy kind of stuff.
Yes,
I just like the comfortable.
Celebrate the curves, girl.
Yeah.
So wait,
absolutely, we're women.
Yes.
As you're talking, and it is so inspiring, and we miss you so much, and we are going to take you up on coming to Toronto. But 27 years ago, being a female, the word boss babe did not exist 27 years ago. What was it like starting back then? I mean, it's already cutthroat in home shopping. But then here you are, female founder, female CEO in this big sea of brands and men. Was it a lot different back then? What was it like?
It was very interesting because they would not ask me questions. They would tell me what to do. Like, this is where you have to be, this is what you have to do. And then they would save the questions for Darius or somebody else in the office. It would be like, you wouldn't know that. So they would go over there and then they would say, well, let me check with her. Like, for a lot of people, it was very hard to understand that I was actually making the decision.
And your husband would defer to you in front of them. Good. Yes.
He would be like,
wow.
Sure, but it was interesting too, because they wanted me to change my name at the beginning too. Cause I have a last name Marcheggiani and they were saying that is too ethnic. That's too long. Like, chop it down, make it Mark. So it's like, so no science and not my name, then who am I? Why am I doing this? So that was really difficult. It was more that, oh, you're just the spokesperson and the brains is some guy somewhere else. So there was that learning curve.
Sure.
Then there was the other part, or that obstacle. And then there was the other part of earning my hours, like earning prime time, earning the ability to show up at certain times and having to prove myself all the time. And then I remember I wanted the network. This is time of G. McCaffrey time, just a long time ago. I wanted to I wanted to get prime time really badly, and we were at a dinner. There was a host dinner with I think it was not All Star, it was before All Star, but there was a dinner, and I really wanted prime time, and I was getting like the adjacent to prime time, but never really the key spot. So I saw him at the bar talking to a few other vendors. I kind of waited my turn to sit kind of next to him, and I basically chatted and said, I really want to try this and all this, and I have this idea. So he said, okay, I'll give you a shot on a Tuesday at 7 a.m. and see what you can do with that. And with a host. And so I built the offer I wanted, and I went on that Tuesday. And at Tuesday at 7 a.m. at the time, I think they could do like, I don't know, $15,000, something like that. Yeah. We did $650,000.
What?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, baby.
We did almost $1 million on that Tuesday. Yes. And then we followed it up on the weekend and did $1 million for an hour.
Yes,
and
you did.
He said to me, you can have any time.
Yes. Take it, girl. Yes, that's well amazing. But it goes to show too, you always have to advocate for yourself.
Yes.
You always have to. If I've learned anything, learning from, legends like you and Becky and people we've worked with and even outside of work, it never stops. You always have to be advocating for yourself.
Well, right. Because if Jean's not there, now you've got another management group. You're constantly, selling
they're going to
yourself.
Look at your record.
Yeah.
You have to advocate for yourself. But then when they open the door, and this was a very interesting conversation we had years later where there was another vendor who wanted to get prime time, whatever. And Gene was at one of the dinners, and he said, the difference between you, and he was pointed to the vendor, and then he pointed to the kid. He used to call me the kid, is that when I open the door, she actually walks through it and she smashes it open and goes through. You kind of wait for permission to come in. It's like, you should ask and advocate, but you've got to be prepared. You've got to show up. You've got to give it your all, right? No one just gives you things. And just like you're doing, you're going ahead, doing the podcast, saying, you know what I mean? You just show up and you do your absolute best that you can.
Yes.
You give 100%. And I think that that's really important, right? And then follow through.
I got to back this story up, because when I was a new host, I started hosting in fashion because that was my background. But you really had to work your way into other categories. And I really was mostly interested in beauty and fashion. Yeah. I said I'd do a little jewelry. I really loved the beauty category. I wanted to get into it, but beauty is hard to present. There's legalities around the claims, around the ingredients. It is not just, you feel cute in a top. Right. It is, this has a certain percentage of clinical strength of this ingredient, and you cannot make claims, definitive claims about anything. So you really have to work your way into beauty. I studied really hard. I really, really wanted to, do well. And great news, it did pay off. But Manuela, you were, I think, the second beauty brand I ever presented as a host. We had an amazing 9 a.m. hour. I'll never forget it. You were so gracious and kind to me. I remember looking at you and I'm like, what would you like me to do? How would you like to do this? Because I was like, you're the god. I am just a peasant. And you go, Erin, whatever you do is fine. I'll follow you. But I remember, and it was so cute. It was so more than cute. It was so kind of you. But I remember getting into that show and I'm like, this bitch is ready. I mean, you had 17 before and afters for everything we talked about. You had 10 clinical studies for everything we talked about. You had a binder this thick with the exact percentages of every ingredient to every single item. I was like, oh, she came to play.
So pro.
It was so amazing. But you know what happened then? It totally screwed the next few people I worked with.
Oh, who were not nearly as prepared.
Because then you'd have the same beauty vendors coming in who wanted to be a Manuela Marcheggiani. Lovely people, lovely product.
Oh, I hear a bless their heart.
But they're like, so this is a serum I use and it works well. And I'm like, where's the ingredient deck? Where are the before and afters? Manuela would never. And they had great product. Great product. They were great people. They were nice experts. But to your point of when that door opens, you got to be ready to go through. I mean, you do not just talk that talk. You walk that walk. And I remember that dating back to 2015.
Fantastic.
September of 2015 was the first time I worked with you. I remember it. Oh, God. Isn't that crazy?
The date.
I thank you for that, because and I really mean it. Like when you said about, what do you want me to do, whatever, and I said just whatever, because to me, I'm the guest in your show. I'm the guest, and you dictate the terms. You and that is this is how confident I am with my knowledge that you play it any way you want. And I'm going to meet you there because you're the expert. I'm just talking about my product. You know, the audience, this is your home, and I'm a guest in your home. And so I have to show up with all the information to make sure that, I'm in there and being able to have a really great discussion about this and really serve people the best that we possibly can. Yeah. I have this, many, many years ago, I bought a t-shirt. I'm not big on like t-shirts with sayings, but this one t-shirt I bought, and it was train hard, win easy.
Ooh. Hey, now. Can we change our podcast name to that?
That is so good.
That is good. It's so true because we've talked about this before. Becky and I have talked a lot because people get confused kind of around the host and guest role, especially when like Becky lives here, so they wouldn't understand really the difference between Becky's role as a guest and my role as a host and, what have you. And we always talked about the best guests were the ones who knew their product inside and out, to your point, because then you could talk about anything, but also specifically in beauty, the best guests and brands were the ones that did what they said as well, that had something to talk about, because again, I go back to the trends. And I thought Shop HQ did a really good job of vetting good brands. I rarely had one where I was like, wait. They were good brands, definitely. But sometimes if you get out there and you're like, no, this is the best, but I only have one thing to say about it.
Yeah.
They can't follow along with anything because there's only one thing to say. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you have a guest who knows their product really well and has a great product, it really is pretty magical.
Oh, it is so magic. And I was thinking about this for the woman too. When she doesn't see you on her Shop HQ channel, right? Yes. This is habit. Manuela's on. I fill up on my, for me, it's the C. ferulic. Like everyone's got their little.
She's addicted to the C. ferulic, by the way.
I love it.
Very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this is what happened though, I think she panicked. Did you find that there was like a run? Because this is part of your daily routine. And now Manuela is not on my screen. What do I do?
Well, I go to isomers.ca
That's right.
And I shop with the code HAPPY20.
I think so.
No, I can't tell you how many people said, but where do we get our isomers now? Because the other thing, I used to say this on air, and it's the God's honest truth, is because as a host, you'd have to test I wouldn't present something I hadn't tested. I just didn't feel right. Telling somebody, oh, this oil is going to be great, and I've never put it on my face.
No.
So I was testing everything, and my skin I have reactive skin, as Manuela knows. It was hard on my skin, especially in the first few years. So what I fell into is I found my favorite serums from Manuela. Copper P is one that literally I think every beauty brand there also uses. I love the Super Skin Serum. I love the H Pure. And the Matrixyl 4 and the Fastify Serum. But I found these easy, very good, very incredible serums. And I would just use those all the time. So I knew at least the base of my skin was taken care of.
So you didn't ruin that.
And then if I wanted to test other products, I could. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm done working there, I'm on a full isomers diet, full isomers diet. And I like to rotate through everything. But yeah, people were panicking. I mean, where they were supposed to get isomers, but it's still super easy, right? We're just going to your website.
Yeah, you just come to isomers.ca so you could get it from our website. We do it now. We've incorporated a skin test so people could answer. You could go in and sign up and get your skin test. So it'll recommend the products for you. It'll give you a routine. So you clean, feed, correct, protect. We are going to be launching in the U.S. again on a new network on September 16th.
Wait, okay, wait.
11 p.m.
Slow down. Say that again. You're coming back on our TV screens?
Yes.
On what day?
September 16th.
11 p.m.
This is breaking
news. And then the
news.
next day, and then so we're doing a launch that night, and then 4 p.m. and then 8 p.m. the next day.
And you can't tell us the network yet?
We can tell you in about a week or so.
It's U.S. network, though.
One of two.
And you didn't have to fight for 8 p.m.
in the same building.
Oh my gosh! Manuela, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, so we're there, and then we're also on Shop LC. Our sister brands are there. So my son is there. So if you're interested in cold and the cold press technology,
yes,
he launched in Texas last week with Chuck Clemency, which was very interesting.
How fun.
Which is a lot of fun to have him there. But yeah, we'll be back on. I really wanted to. We were going to do it earlier, We were going to do it a few weeks ago, but in the 27 years that I've been doing TV shopping, I hadn't really actually taken more than a month off. And so we decided to take 4 months off.
Good for you.
And launch it because
You're a hustler, baby.
Wait, what did you do
a lot
though?
of changes. Yeah, no. So this is something that we were thinking of doing anyways, even before the Shop HQ changed or left. We were naturally, again, thinking about the different age and stage in your life. And I think about where am I going with my brand and what do I want to do and how can I really affect the most, how can I help the most people spread the word and actually still continue to build in a very positive way. So we knew we were outgrowing that and we needed to move anyways. And I also wanted to be more impactful with my time.
Yeah.
So we were going to go to another network.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. So yes, if you want to follow Isomers, please follow us on our website, but also we're on YouTube. We have Confessions of a Cosmetic Chemist, where I go through just different things about science. And we are on TikTok and Instagram, but TikTok a lot. I answer questions.
You're viral on
September.
TikTok. Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Oh my gosh, we're going to be watching.
So exciting.
I cannot wait. This is so exciting. So I'm going to say, okay, if we all had to pick our hero item from Isomers, if someone's brand new to Isomers,
Yeah.
I would say the H Pure hands down, because you hear hyaluronic acid all the time, and Manuela's hyaluronic acid is the only pure, the only in different levels of molecular weight. So it works harder, goes deeper, works faster. And I find that when I use H Pure, everything else works better.
Yeah.
So if I had to say one item that I think every woman, any age, any skin type would love, I would say the H Pure.
And wait, so what in the steps when I use my C-Ferulic, am I using?
I put H Pure on first all the time.
That's the first step?
I always put H Pure on as my first serum because I think it hydrates my skin so that it can receive everything else better.
Okay.
Yeah.
No matter.
So you can put that on before your vitamin C, or you could put your vitamin C. It doesn't really matter. It's still serum, but you could put that before your vitamin C and ferulic. So you clean, feed, correct, protect. So the H Pure is going to be part of the feeding, and so that's really good for your skin for the hydration. The more you can. You're going to increase absorption by adding the H Pure.
It's so good. Now, what do you love so much about the vitamin C ferulic?
Well, as you can tell, I don't stay out of the sun. Manuela, this is Confessions of a Tanaholic. So the C for repair, for, I know I'm not doing myself a favor. And I do wear sunblock on my face.
Yeah.
I probably should. I should probably see ferulic.
But your
in my whole
skin
body.
is so even, so bright.
Well, I really do attribute a lot of it to, and I think a lot of women don't, for many, many years have ignored their skin, and now they're paying for it. If they're I'm 55 this year, if you had to start me on, a little baby program, what would you start me on?
I would start you with a nice cleanser. So probably the hydrating milk cleanser. I would start you with an antioxidant like the vitamin C and ferulic. Probably a matrixyl for nighttime for collagen repair, and then a phytoestrogen cream just to refatten your skin. Because as you get older, like you do lose collagen, you want to make sure you're keeping up with the collagen, but you also now want to keep up with your elastin. And that's what I would do.
Really
Keep it nice and simple.
Okay.
And now you have to pick a favorite child right now, or
Only one?
Manuela.
Me?
It is glutathione still your desert island pick?
Absolutely. There is. And now it's even. So again, here's one of those things, like when we did the Ectowin or we did the R Pure, like 30 years late, 27 years later, the science shows how smart we were. The glutathione, where we started about 17 years ago, I was talking about, you need this. Now studies are showing that when you add glutathione, your vitamin C works better, your collagen works better, everything works better. And so for me, like I have very even skin tone, like it brightens, it tightens, it works on detoxifying your skin. So it is something that has so many more benefits than we knew. So I love the fact that it's still my favorite child.
Okay.
And
that's
then
incredible.
phytoestrogen, because I'm old, I'm, older.
You're living your best life, girl.
I want to refatten. That zone 2 exercising, eating well, eating the right amount of calories properly, I think is really important too. Like we don't really position ourselves for success. And I think as women, we should start looking and positioning ourselves for success and not making things more difficult. Just make it clear, have a plan, how we treat others, we should treat ourselves.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, that's
I
really
once heard, how would you talk to yourself you were looking at like your 5-year-old,
Yeah.
you know, yourself at 5 years old. Would you be so hard on her? You know, would you want to protect her?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Treat yourself the way you treat others. So Manuela, we could talk to you for hours. It's almost been an hour, which is insane. I can't believe it. Will you come back on the podcast again? Maybe after you launch in September, would you come back and tell us how it went?
Sure. Absolutely.
It would be our honor.
Thank you. It'd be my pleasure. Thank you so much, ladies. This is great.
You've been such an inspiration to so many of us. You've been so kind to so many of us, and we are better for having you as a friend and knowing you for so long. So thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
We love you. So happy you're here. Bye, Manuela.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, a quick reminder, you guys, our first supporter of our podcast, it's Daily Fascia. Daily Fascia offers the most practical, easy to follow techniques to help you unlock your body's hidden potential. It's for freedom, it's for flow, it's for relief. If you're struggling with recurring injuries, stiffness, or you just want to move more freely, Daily Fascia has got you covered. You're going to use the code HAPPY50 to get 50% off your first course at dailyfascia.com. We have all the information for her different coursework, her YouTube channel, all listed and tagged below. You guys, do us a huge favor, please. Will you like this podcast, share it, or subscribe? Because that helps, right, Bex?
It will help us a ton.
It will. And I don't know if we've helped you, but if you don't mind helping us, that'd be great.
Fair's fair.
Love you.